Welcome to Thursday, everybody, and it's back to the Titan Masters, the tiniest of the figures in the Titans Return line. And we're looking at Wave 2 this time, and man, we got some variety here, don't we? Okay, so once again, we are looking at two of these little tiny guys, and we'll save this one for later, and we will focus on this guy. This is another one that kind of brought about a bunch of people going, what? And like, why aren't we getting a real figure of him? This is Brawn. Yeah, well, Brawn, I will admit, is one of those G1 characters. Like, man, you've only gotten Legends class. But I haven't paid over $6 for one of your figures in so long. I think I even got my G1 Brawn for less than that. So yeah, this unlike the last time I looked at some of these, this is very fitting of Brawn. It is a very tough and like souped up version of an actual army jeep style vehicle. And hey, look, big treads on him too. That actually kind of plays into the character a little bit. I like that. You can see some of his original vestiges in the front. He's got the same army green going on, as well as the same shade of yellow. Well, mostly the same shade anyway. And he does have just enough of kind of a Jeep look to him in order to really kind of convey his original G1 vehicle mode. Which, now that I think about it, I'm not even sure if it really was a Jeep or not. Oh well, I'm sure someone will be upset about that in the comments. But hey, I do quite like this vehicle mode. A little headlights molded in, a little bit of a grille molded in. To the rear, not a whole lot. It's mostly the engineering. I kind of like the idea of like taking like a military truck, Jeep, or any type of vehicle like that, and just mounting some tank treads on it for no reason. It's not off-road enough. I need more off-road. I need caterpillar treads. I need big things to climb up big rocks. Just because. I'm sure it guzzles fuel, but hey, it gets the job done now, doesn't it? Now, the Titan Master integration is not terribly good. He kind of forms the top, and I do like how the yellow kind of blends in together to try and make a more solid-looking vehicle, but it doesn't quite connect, so you do get more of that Jeep look, the open top and everything. You can't really quite fudge it in order to get it closer. I will tell you one thing that the instructions do not actually include. So, in order to get this guy out, I need to pull the handle down, which the handle actually comes in great handy of actually getting that Titan Master locked in. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and transform him. I'm going to use his limited level of articulation to position him like so. And if I position him like so, and then put him back down in, we'll flip him over and use little extensions on his molding in order to get him onto those little tiny pegs. Now if we flip him forward, perfect driving position. Look at that, the hands on the wheel and everything. I love this. I don't think this was intentional by the design because nothing in the instructions says you can do this, and I know those pegs are used for the other vehicle mode, the one that he can actually ride. But man, look how perfect that looks. You know what it looks like? It looks like if Transformers had its own Mario Kart style game and this was actually Brawn's vehicle. Like, I could so see just like an Energon Cube bomb falling out the back of this thing. It's to kind of blow up Rumble or whoever is chasing after him. I love that. I love that. I don't think it is intentional, but it works so perfectly. It works so perfectly. I wouldn't be surprised if it did actually work out. He's even in proportion for it to be like a little personal vehicle. It's almost like it's like a Power Wheels for him. So we'll go ahead and look at him in the actual Titan Master mode as long as we got him out. This one is a little bit disappointing as far as the paint job goes because there is no paint job. At least not in the robot section itself. His head is vaguely Brawn-ish. It actually has more resemblance to his actual G1 toy head rather than the cartoon's animation model. So that's a little bit of reference to that, but it doesn't have any kind of paint on it whatsoever. I would have at least liked the dome to have been painted silver, just to kind of convey the old G1 toy look. I don't know, so this one's a little bit more plain. Even the molding's a little bit more plain on this one. But let's be fair. He's kind of a bonus figure in the line. I think all these kind of are. We'll get this vehicle transformed, and this is an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to unfold all 4 quarter panels of the vehicle. Fenders and quarter panels, I should say. Let's be correct here. I'm going to fold that down. Now new windshield pops up on this side. Make sure that's clicked into place. And we have well, let me get him situated in here so you can kind of see this a little bit more. Now now we use those little pegs that he's meant to use in this mode. And kind of a man, it's actually kind of hard to position. Some of these are, oh man, hang on. Ugh. Some of these are actually really hard to get them pegged in. It's a very tight connection, and there's not a whole lot of room for your fingers to get in there and actually keep things connected. Okay, now that stays put long enough for me to actually hinge this piece down and get his hands where they're supposed to go. Okay, a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay, I will accept that. So here in the riding vehicle mode, I'm not sure what they're going for here. I am legitimately confused. I'm going to go with Star Wars style speeder bike, because this is, wow. I'm like, this is just, hey, they're space robots, so we can kind of make the vehicle whatever we want and just pretend that it actually is a vehicle. So I will say this to it, does have some extra molding in the insides, just so it has some mechanical look to it. You can see a lot more of the yellow plastic now, and the Autobot sigil is now visible on this mode, so that's all well and good. And yeah, he's definitely riding it like you would like a speeder vehicle. And you got exhaust here, I guess, and then forward-facing guns. You do have to use a little bit of imagination to actually get a vehicle out of this. What I will say, I love how different the vehicles are. This is some kind of hover assault bike thing versus that heavy tank-treaded Jeep from the other mode. This is a great little bit of variety. I'm actually quite happy. This is actually one of my favorites in the line so far. So, that out of the way, let's get this guy out, and I can flip these forward and pull the handle out. And hey, look, we finally have something that actually transforms a little bit in order to get a gun mode. And this brings all of those barrels pointed forward and actually makes it look like a pretty heavy-duty weapon. I'm going to bring out Hardhead, because why wouldn't I use Hardhead for this? I can already tell this one's going to go long because I'm gushing a little bit more over these than I did the last pair. Of course, I kind of figured these things have surprising levels of playability, so I kind of expected these to go a little bit longer. Alright, so that way, I'm going to peg him into place. And just like that, we have Brawn. And see, now he's got a fully upgraded body. He finally has a toy of his own. So yeah, it actually makes a pretty good pairing with this guy. I usually have Brawn sitting as the wingman in the cannon. The head itself definitely did a good job getting G1 Brawn's animation model look. He's got an older, gruffer look to him. He's got the proper gunmetal gray for the dome, silver face. The headmaster thing does kind of ruin the look, as it does get very boxy toward the back. But from most angles, he still looks pretty Brawn-ish to me, I would say. So that actually kind of works for me. And it makes him a pretty well-rounded and pretty solid set for this toy line. So I'm going to get that out of here, and you get the idea. So I'm not going to bring out Hardhead again. We're just going to go straight into Clobber, which is actually G1 Grimlock, and they actually did say, no, it's just straight up Grimlock, and we don't know why we changed the name. Probably so it didn't get confused with the other Grimlock that's out right now. But, I don't know, for whatever reason, Clobber here is very much Dinobot, at least very much a G1 style Dinobot. Gunmetal gray and yellow, a lot more yellow than your typical Dinobot, but hey, that was one of Grimlock's colors, at least a goldish yellow. He's a cute little thing. I kind of dig this. I dig this mold, though. We're gonna get to that in Decepticon week. Yeah. So he's got the big Autobot sigil on the head, red for the eyes. Not a whole lot else going on for paint aside from a lot of silver on the tip of the tail, which isn't actually a tail. What I do love about this particular figure is, right off the bat, it might be a little bit hard to tell just how integrated the Titan Master is. And you can see the little arms. The little T-Rex arms actually are the Titan Master arms. So that's extra clever. I really like that. But a step further is it's actually the lower jaw of Clobber. You can actually see the legs for this are actually molded to have teeth. Now, the beast mode itself does kind of rely on all these connection points that the Titan Master makes with him, including one in the upper jaw. So he doesn't actually have a lot of strength to connect together. He gets a little bit floppy. So you can't have the mouth open or else he starts to come apart a little bit. So that part's unfortunate. But no, for the most part, it's a cute little dino. Not his best color scheme, but we'll get to that next week. For now, let me get him out. Free! You're free now, Clobber. Go! Fly! You don't disappoint me, Clobber. Let me go ahead and I will show you. He actually does have the gun mode, and he actually has pegs specifically for gun mode, so I know it's an actual gun mode. Peg that into there. I will admit I don't transform him into gun mode, so I'm just folding things together now just for the sake of getting them out of the way. But for the most part, you're supposed to get these points up forward to form a double barrel blaster. And it's a little bit goofy as gun mode, but hey, at least we've seen worse gun modes so far. So at the very least, there is a little bit of transformation element to this. So give it credit for that. But it's a minor point at best. Let me get the wings out here. And we will swap the T-Rex form for the dragon form. I love this. And I love how like the tail of one is the head of the other. It actually works out really, really nicely. Alright, so I'm going to put that aside so we can take a look at the Titan Master itself. Bring the arms down a little bit. Again, we're dealing with no paint on this guy. It's kind of a disappointment from, the first wave where he at least got some face paint on him. He does have a grim look to him, no pun intended. Not quite Dinobot-ish, but he's got a lot of molding going on there, so that works. Chest has some really deep molding into it, too. So they did try to give him a little bit more character. Or at very least a little bit more than Brawn's little headmaster guy. So with that, we can go ahead and peg him in, those little pegs right there. And he also has a little spot, a little groove in the back for the extra tab, which holds it in place a little bit more. And this lets him show you how to train your dragon as he rides right on the back of this one. It's a really cool idea. It's a really cool idea. I really, really like this, how you get this integrated T-Rex and then this like flying like wyvern mode that he can ride on. I really like that. It keeps them in the same vein, but it is two very different beasts, and it definitely has different vibes to it. I like this. This is actually a good little fiddle toy for your desk, and definitely something. Definitely one of the highlights of this line, I feel. And with that, we pretty much just have to take a look at what he looks like as Grimlock's head. And shock and awe, he looks like Grimlock's head. The face itself is black with the red visor, and the rest is still gunmetal. Though since the arm and legs are all gunmetal, which actually seems to be kind of rare on these. Typically, the arms and legs are different colors, But for this part, it's all gunmetal and black, so it looks a lot more solid than some of the others. And as such, it's a nice little Grimlock head, so you can have your G1 Grimlock possessing all the other Titan Masters in this line. Alright, so I think in a nutshell, that is your Wave 2 Autobot Titan Masters. These, I think, were done far better than the originals. They have some... the vehicles that they come with have some connection to their original vehicles from G1. The heads have some good sculpting to them and definitely match their original characters. And both of them have much more creative vehicles and integrations with them, as well as a few hidden ones if you're actually looking hard enough. These are definitely a step up from Wave 1, and both of them come pretty highly recommended for me. If you need something to just kind of fiddle with on your desk, just to keep your hands busy, I could think of much worse than these two.